What is going on, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. Bringing you my recap slash review, thoughts and opinions, as always, on The Flash Season 2, Episode 2, The Flash of Two Worlds. I have to say, I'm really liking the idea of having two Flash characters on the show at the exact same time. Although one Flash character was very limited, Jay Garrick does not have his powers. Let's get right into this review and recap this episode and just talk about all the great things that happen. And always feel free to comment, share your thoughts and opinions on the episode, and we can definitely have a conversation in the comment section down below, because I always like to hear what you guys think about the episode from your perspective and so on. This episode was great. It was a really, really good episode, and I think it's mainly due to the fact that whenever this show acknowledges the comics a lot, it really just turns out to be really, really good. It's just something that's really enjoyable. I guess really it's just because nostalgia, seeing the scene recreated from the comic book cover towards the end of the episode there with Patty Spivot when the Flash and Jay Garrick, when they run over to her, the whole idea of all of this stuff, things that they're doing on this show is quickly making this show so popular that the CW is becoming a network that people actually know. It really was not a network that a lot of people are familiar with over the years, and this show is so popular now. I mean, this show is doing things that I really don't look at Arrow in the same kind of light, even though the show has proven to be really, really good. The Flash is just really amazing. There's just not enough that can be said about this show. So, what was so great about this episode? Patty Spivot, really, really great introduction to her character. There's going to be a lot more about her throughout the season and her relationship with Barry Allen, because she is the love interest for him this season. So that's great. The idea of two worlds, the fact that they're fully acknowledging that now and kind of looking into it, believing in the fact that it is possible. Really, really good stuff. And then, of course, the Sand Demon character. He was actually quite good. Now, the fight scene between him, Jay Garrick, and Barry Allen, I would have liked to see something a little bit more. It was just, I notice a lot with this show, whenever Barry has to take on a metahuman, 9 times out of 10 the battles are usually pretty short. And it's understandable, it's a TV show, they're running on a pretty tight budget, but I'd like to see some more high quality visual effects when it comes to some of the fight scenes or some of the battles, like the way they kind of handle the Reverse Flash last season. I guess that makes a lot more sense. But picking up with Jay Garrick, him talking about Zoom, his speedster, seeing just how Barry Allen's going to have to take on this character, and then of course with Wally West coming on throughout the season at some point, that is going to be good as well. I'm really, really hoping there's an episode where they're all on together and maybe they just take down some bad guys together, they have a race, they make a bunch of comic book references, anything like that would be really, really great. But the scenes are great, and throughout the episode I really, really liked it, because the only disappointment for me overall was the lack of Barry and Iris scenes. I actually hoped there would be more scenes in this episode, but I'm starting to realize now that they're pushing Iris outside of the love interest zone for a little while. They're going to phase her out and really just look at Patty Spivot for this season, because I guess if you look at it from their perspective, or if you approach it from the perspective of Iris West, she lost Eddie Thawne, and even though she had feelings for Barry, or has feelings for Barry, you just can't take away, I guess, her relationship. It doesn't invalidate it at all. Like, she still had a relationship with Eddie Thawne, and he died, so it would feel really wrong, I guess, in a lot of ways, if she were to just move on super quick and end up with Barry. So I guess they're going to kind of put that on hold, which makes a lot of sense. They're going to put it on hold for a little bit, and then they're going to pick it up at some point when things have settled down a little bit more and make a little bit more sense for the two of them. So right now they're just kind of on the same team, helping each other out, and they're friends. So, which I guess is not necessarily bad. That's a pretty good place for them to be at this point, considering what has happened at the end of season 1 and moving forward into season 2. So we'll see just how they kind of play everything out with that. But I still like, to see scenes between the two of them, just to see where their relationship is, and we just didn't have that. So I hope that they can at least have some scenes next week. At least 4 minutes of scenes would be great, not these one-off encounters that they've been doing for the first 2 episodes. So we'll see about that. So that's pretty much what I think about Barry and Iris. As far as Patty Spivot goes, I actually like her character. I think she's going to be fine throughout the season. I hope that her relationship with Barry Allen is short but sweet, because realistically it's not going to last that long. But we'll see. we'll see just how they really kind of play it out. And Jay Garrick's character, Ryan Sears, I'm hoping that they can actually keep him as a somewhat regular character so he can appear on and off throughout the season. That would be pretty cool. There was no mention of him or scene with him in the preview for next week's episode. It's really about Captain Cold, which is understandable, but we'll see just what they decide to do with his character as well, because they're juggling a lot of recurring characters and guest stars and the one-time appearance characters that they bring on. So hopefully Jay Garrick is not that type of character, and hopefully he has a lot more episodes, because him training Barry and teaching Barry some things was really, really cool. So what else can be said? The scenes between Cisco and Dr. Stein were actually really great as well, because they're going to, since they are a lot of the mind, they're the brain behind a lot of the operations going on, they figure things out, it makes sense that naturally Cisco tells Martin Stein that he is Vibe. And I also like, you always have to love the comic book references when he says, I get this vibe and then I can see this. Like, stuff like that just never gets old to me. It never ever does. And that's why when they had that pose, the comic book cover shot with that pillar, when they both ran on each side of it to help Patty Spivot, it's just like, things like that. You always appreciate that kind of stuff. And I hope they do much, much more of it. I'm still hoping for a Superman, but that's a little out there. But Cisco Ramon, his character becoming Vibe, I'm really looking forward to that as well. Seeing his transformation into an actual hero is going to be something that I really like, because his character is always witty, he's always super smart, he's on top of things, an active thinker, he's always coming up with ideas and solutions and things like that. So now that he's going to be going beyond his normal capacity, things are going to start to look a little odd for him, because it's even outside of the norm for him. After a while, I guess Team Flash is going to start to suspect something just doesn't make any sense here. How is he able to always come up with these solutions? Because his ability to see different timelines and things like that really is complex, and we'll just see how far they take it. I hope they do a lot more with these characters. They need to really spend time, since they have the luxury of having 22 or 23 episodes, they should really spend time fleshing out a lot of these characters, because you have so much you can talk about, and it's nice when you have a balanced amount of exposure for each character, because then you really feel like you're witnessing this universe expand and unfold. So all in all, great episode, 9 out of 10, and we'll definitely see more of Zoom, that's for sure. Also, the end scene with Harrison Wells, we obviously knew he was coming back this season, so it looks like it's a different Earth. I don't think it's Earth 2, it'll probably be a different Earth 3, or whatever the case may be. When you get into the multiverses, it gets really, really confusing, and there's multiple breakdowns and characters and things like that. But we'll see just what they really want to pull from the comics this season, and how they're going to implement it, and what the episodes are going to be like. Obviously, Legends of Tomorrow is going to start in January, so how they all connect with all of these shows is going to be great, and I'll have content for that show as well. So my name is Damien. Thank you for listening, watching. Leave a like on the video. Share your thoughts in the Flash. Let me know what you think about Jay Garrick's costume on the show. I thought it looked pretty good. I was never a big fan of the Jay Garrick Flash just because of the helmet, but I understand how his character was written and the time period and everything like that, but I just never ever was really a big fan. I love the Barry Allen Flash, and it's always going to be my favorite one. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and check for a review tomorrow on Arrow.